I'm so glad you gave me a pencil. Every time I see a two-lead pencil, you know what I think of? Great school teachers.
Yes.
And those who really, who was your favorite high school teacher at New Brighton?
Well,
I had a couple
so
of
many
them.
of them. You know,
Biggest influence. I love public school teachers.
probably Dave Bush, only because he was our trainer, and then he was a tremendous teacher, and I miss him still today.
He taught me more, and he kept me engaged enough to actually get a diploma, because there was doubts at times, okay? Listen, they graded on a curve. I started doing extra credit at the beginning of the 6 weeks, and you can ask Mark Nemisak, Mrs. Sigworth, believe me,
Oh.
I struggled. I loved her, but I struggled.
Yeah, that was a tough class.
It was a tough class, but so was basic arithmetic for me too. You have two apples, and I take away one.
I don't
How
want
many-
to talk about math in high school.
Okay, but listen, Dave Bush was incredible.
That's right.
Enrico Antonini, the reason I'm a broadcaster today is because of my cum familia. There's nothing like a public school teacher. Mr. Matrazo, of course, for many years. Bill Edwards, the great principal. And these great professors here, everybody can say, even this wonderful student here who's shooting this, she'll say to her children or her friends someday, 20 years from now, that teacher or these teachers changed my life.
I hope so, because I had her twice in business class. But you're right. I mean, the effect of a teacher, and I'm so glad my daughter Grace is getting into education, because the
Elementary?
effect, yeah, elementary special ed. The effect you have on young people is just, it's just unsurpassed.
My children, Robbie Neva's mother, Kelly, great school teacher. In the time we were together, she would always say, just talk to the hand. So I learned from one of the best. She's incredible. Okay, now, Steelers, top passing defense in the NFL going into Monday night this past week. Good one, fourth in the league. They've allowed 25 points in their past two games. Steeler rookie TJ Watts, I'll tell you, he's having a nice season. Sunday, he had his third sack of the year. He also tied for fourth right now with most tackles at 19. Le'Veon Bell, last time the Chiefs saw him, he was running wild over them in the divisional game at Arrowhead in January of this year. He finished with 170 yards on 30 carries. Since Bell entered the league in 2013, he has thrived in the month of October, 2,092 yards. Martavius Bryant being back, a big boost. 15 catches for 204 yards. Now, the article referenced Jerry Dulac from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, a great writer. Don't forget Post-Gazette NFL Sunday edition. Do a great job. Something wrong with his scheme when Martavius Bryant has 5 catches for 4.2 yard average. What do you think happened in that game against Jacksonville?
It's just a complete breakdown. I mean, they're throwing the ball over 50 times a game. You got the best running back in the league. And you should be able to run the football. It was just a breakdown. And I'm going to say this. You've heard the comments that Ben made about maybe not having it.
He kind of retracted
And then he
that.
retracted that. But truthfully, what people didn't see was this. On 3 of those picks, one was tipped, one the protection wasn't there, the other one should have been caught. I mean, he had a bad day. Everybody has a bad day. And the thing I like about this guy, and these guys are at such a different level than any of us can imagine, is watch how he'll play in Kansas City. He is going to light it up.
All right, you know what Gene Matzo told me years ago? Great story. We were at Judge Mannix's funeral.
Yeah.
I was kind of stressed out. Jimmy Ross, our good friend, is
Sure.
right from Hunky Alley. He was there, the great judge. And Gene, we were talking about life, and he said, here's how you got to approach it. You got to forget about the last play.
That's exactly right.
And you got to find a way to just get back to the line of scrimmage, and Ben will be back. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, we have a saying here, play this play. And what that means is this one's important.
Good stuff. Okay, now, Antonio Brown leading the league 545 yards, but he has only 1 touchdown. So explain to me why he's getting so many touches and he's making a difference, but where he was getting the extra yards, getting into the secondary, getting into the end zone, it's not happening.
I said this before. The Browns put the free safety about 15 yards downfield. That was interesting. It's this stuff's all about timing. I mean, going from high school to college, even Division III, the biggest factor is speed and the timing of the play. And when we go from Division III, at Division I, it was so fast. But at the end of NFL, it's lightning fast. And I just think they're having an issue right now as far as timing, as far as, and that'll come together. That'll all come
Just
together.
to give the audience an idea, looking at the second hand on my clock, you're the coach. What's usually the start time of a play till they get to the line of scrimmage, the cadence, he takes the snap, till that play comes to an end with the whistle blow? What would you say the average?
I mean, it's probably anywhere from like 7 to 11, 10 seconds maybe, maybe 7 seconds. And it all depends what kind of offense you're running, all right? What you're seeing now are offenses that you wouldn't see before because of the rules. Everybody blocks with their hands, and people want to see points. So what happens is there's some of the college games, you're never going to see a hurry up, speed up stuff that we used to do, and now we're the exact opposite. The offense is
fast.
It is so fast, and what I mean by that is the timing, the response. And once Ben gets back into that thing, it could very well be the fact that they've had a couple offensive linemen out. It could very well be, just a half a step on the drop.
This is why every NFL coach at any level earns their pay, because that play, everybody has a particular assignment. So they know exactly what to attack, how to counter, and how to make that play come to an end, either a plus for the offense or a plus for the defense. That's how skilled these coaches are. Now, Ben Roethlisberger, pick 6, okay? He's 35. Still, I believe he has a lot of gas left. People don't understand, though, when you throw these INTs in the pros, a lot of times it's a busted play, someone drops the ball, and these are just tremendous athletes in the secondary. So there's more to it than meets the eye, right?
So much to it. It may have been a bad route. It may be a one step here, bad step here. The ball was tipped. It happens. I mean, they're just having timing issues on offense. That's all it is, and that will come together. It has to. They got too many talented people for it not to. Plus, I think I have a feeling that Ben is trying to take the heat off of everyone by being the focal point of the discussion.
And listen, if his head is kind of not in the game right now, hypothetical, I'm just sticking up for the guy. You're 35, you got kids, you see this game and what's happened to some of the athletes who played it. Even if a split second you think about something else, it talks about being laser focused. So what? He's human, but believe me, in the end, he'll be in the game more than not, and he'll get back where he needs to be.
Well, what happened the day after he made the statement, he watched the film.
Right.
Okay, he watched himself on tape. He put that product on tape. He's looking at it, and he says, "That's not me." And then all of a sudden, he's back in the saddle, and that's what makes him one of the best in the league. And they're going to go out to Kansas City, and they're going to play a great game.
All right, now, Barry Church, Jacksonville, said that he looked flustered. Well, yeah, if things are kind of melting in front of your very eyes, you're going to be flustered. But I think he understands that this game against Kansas City and who they're playing, and I think that's actually going to help them ramp it up a little bit. But it also goes to prove you just never know on any given Sunday. Look at Alex Smith. Oh, you got Patrick Mahomes, this young kid out of A&M that everybody thinks is going to be the next big thing. And Smith's like, hey, I'm not done yet. And once again, he goes out and has himself a great game last week. Kansas City, a 4.5-point favorite in this game as we go to tape. But Alex Smith has been absolutely incredible. Let me just go through some of these things for Kansas City through the first 5 weeks of the season. Kansas City, again, 5-0. Second best total offense, 2,097 yards. Sixth best passing team, 1,290 yards. First in points per game at 32.8. Second in rushing at 781. So they're putting the numbers up, and Andy Green's a good coach. Andy Reid's a good coach.
Andy Reid knows how to put an offense together. And defensively, they're solid. Kansas City, a good football team.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, if you're handing out MVP honors, you'd have to probably give it to Alex Smith right now if you were doing it, right?
Right now, that running back they got, he's making some plays too now.
That guy is Kareem Hunt, running back. Right now, he's a third-round pick, overall number 27 out of Toledo. This year, 97 carries for 699 yards and 4 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, fifth-round pick in 2016 from West Alabama, 25 catches for 356 yards and 2 touchdowns. Their defense, Terrence Mitchell, he had a big year, and the 7th-round pick, 2014 from Oregon, with 2 picks this year. And Justin Houston, a 3rd-round pick, number 50 overall from Georgia, 2013 with 5.5 sacks. So just some of the players the Steelers are going to have to go up against. But again, Andy Reid, when you spend that many years in Philadelphia, which is a tough place to really coach football, you know that you're a good coach. And he reinvented himself, went out to Kansas City, and he's doing fantastic.
They were a good football team last year. We haven't even talked about their tight end. The tight end, Kelsey, he's phenomenal. I don't like the way he goes about his business, but he's too flamboyant for me to be a tight end. I mean, if you're a tight end, you got to be like that guy.
Here's what I like. I'm going to close on this note and kind of get back to the point about why Geneva is a great place for a student athlete to matriculate to play football. You see these players from West Alabama, 5th round, 6th round, and they make it. Somebody once said, no matter who you are, if you have talent, they'll find you.
a young man that's the running back is from Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
The Toledo head coach actually played receiver here for 2 years. And that Alex Smith kid,
Mm-hmm.
he was at a place called Helix High School. My Uncle Dave, his roommate in college was his head football coach down in Helix. He also coached another guy by the name of Reggie Bush. Can you imagine coaching those two guys, Alex Smith and Reggie Bush?
So when you play at Reeve Stadium, young men, you just never know. You could be the next chapter in a long list of some great athletes who have walked through the hallowed halls here of Geneva College. Coach, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week. Until then, good night.